Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a Tier 7 game in my Tier 5 Mutsuki. Um, this is one of the few times I've actually revisited the ship outside of offering it to offering some sort of training for somebody that's struggling in the ship. This was the ship that damn near broke me as a destroyer player when this was at Tier 6 and Concealment Expert was 15 points. And you can imagine uh, trying to hack your way through uh, that situation. It just was not pretty. Going ahead and gonna kick this off. Threats to myself. CV Battle Ryujo is obviously a threat. Atlanta is the only radar on the enemy team. They have Akatsuki, Farragut, and Mutsuki rounding out the destroyer threats to my ship. Obviously, if you've ever played Mutsuki, she has two pop guns for main batteries, and it is not very comfortable to try to gunboat in this destroyer. Your guns, however, are not worthless. Um, they're good for some sort of damage. Here I'm taking a moment and showing you some of the limitations with the torpedo angles. It's got kind of shit torpedo angles, to start with, but then with the launcher location, you actually can only launch in like this middle two-third area of your torpedo, uh, your actual indicator, and that's something that it's honestly it's a bit of a pain in the ass, and it's risky for the ship because if you want to get your torps off in smoke, I'm highlighting the Mayhan right there. He just smokes up. This guy is going to smoke up and sit in his smoke a lot this game, and I think that he's lucky that enemy DDs don't really seem to torp this guy. I want to highlight it because it is dangerous because shit like this. If I wasn't pushing up here, nobody'd see that Farragut coming. He could walk right up and just dump torps into that guy's smoke, and he doesn't have a big, smoke screen out there. Now contrast, what this Farragut, what my Mayhan is doing with me. I'm staying out here. I'm going to keep spotting. CV wants to fly over me, whatever. I don't care. I am going to start moving closer to support for friendly AA. Mutsuki, one of the things that is kind of surprising, she actually is pretty solid with anti-air. So, she can shoot down a surprising number of planes when you look at it from the context of she's a Japanese torp boat, and particularly low and mid tier at that. You don't really consider those ships having that great of AA. So I'm anticipating torps on this Mayhan smoke, so I'm stopping short of it. I want to keep spotting, and I'm looking here. If I was this destroyer, I would not want to sit this close in my smoke. I would want to sit further back here, that at least if somebody was pushing in, I would have a chance at actually being able to get out, use the my smoke that was laid like this. Uh, Unfortunately, I guessed wrong. He's getting away. He takes a quick pot shot at me, but I'm already off. And you notice the angle that I'm keeping. I'm holding this angle where, I'm anticipating, okay, he's probably going to dump torps. Farragut torps, they're close range, but they're pretty fast, they're pretty sneaky. So I'm getting moving. I want to relocate. Um, Now that the Farragut's spotted, I look, the Mayhan smoke is out. I'm going to pop my smoke here, and I'm going to use my Mayhan as a spotter on this Farragut. And I'm going to use my little pop guns to try to get some free damage in on a major threat to my ship. Pen no damage, you gotta love it. Now, I could have probably just as easily stayed, done this without smoking up, but I also want to be able to have something flip in the cap. And if the Mayhan's getting reset, and I can tell right there, the Mayhan just smoked up. There's the smoke in my corner of the screen. I need to get out and spot because my team no longer has vision, and that's an issue for the team. This Mayhan, he's not paying attention to what he needs to be doing. You know he's playing too smoke heavy. I see a Colorado pushing up. Now, one of the things that I wanted to discuss, Mutsuki before had 10-kilometer torps that were really slow. Honestly, I didn't really like them. These new torps that, well, I say new, she's had them for quite some time. They're 8 kilometers, 62 knots. They hit 1700 alpha. They hit hard. Only like, what was it, off the top of my head, like 1.6 kilometer detection is very good for a Japanese torp. Yes, you only have 6 of them, but you're going to see me take some really aggressive torpedo launches where I'm stacking sets of torps rather than overlapping them. If you watch me torp, I usually am not stacking torps like that. That was 4 out of 6 torps. I'm passing through the Mayhan smoke. Why not shoot? My objective is I want to get out here on the flank and get out away from all of this island bullshit and start really providing vision back here. And the vision is what's going to start dominating this flank. Their Farragut's back in behind this island doing fuck knows what. But keeping this Dallas spotted. Everybody's raining on this Dallas. I'm pushing hard in here on this Congo. And I'm waiting for that Farragut to pop up. I see the Farragut. I'm basically turning to start kiting. I call target on him and start engaging him. Now I'm going to wait until this Farragut starts shooting. I'm going to pop my smoke. The Farragut instantly pops his smoke too, and this is advantageous for me. I shot that too far forward, and I think I shoot this one too far back, too low. This guy's already shown a proclivity to just sit and smoke, so I'm just gonna move out. I want to keep vision pressure on these guys. If I wasn't out here, this Colorado might be able to get away, might be able to heal up, and be more difficult to take out. I'm not interested in playing this smoke camping game, and I'm looking to see if this guy starts shooting from here. I do have torps available. I am looking to torp. I do see a full health Arizona back here. That's looking very attractive to me, but I mean, at this point, we're down 2 ships. We've got a 2 cap advantage. Their team looks like it's already starting to fold, so I'm going for broke right now. Okay, here's the Farragut. He's been chunked quite a bit, so I'm just going to pick this fight. Low DPM or not, I know my team's back there. They don't have much to shoot at, so I'm going to get some help here. So, in this... If I had to define Mutsuki's role, you are a fleet scout. And playing this ship again, it's actually pretty agile, pretty fast, compared to, ships like Kagero, Yagumo. At least it feels that way. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of the way that I scout with, for example, Shimakaze. Here I take one set of torps. When you have just 2 sets of 3, don't be afraid to just, you're this close in. I'm under 7 kilometers. Take a perspective shot. But my intent is to basically scout everything out for my team. If you noticed, I picked up that Farragut, created the issues, and decap for him. He ended up falling back, and then I pushed him again, picked him up again before he could start causing trouble for the team. And then when he smoked up, I just kept pushing and picked him up a third time, and between myself and the team, we were able to put him down. That is the role for a fleet destroyer. You're not going to be, relying on winning these fights all by yourself, especially something in a Mutsuki. But with smart destroyer play, you can use your team as weapons against your enemies. And even though Farragut's a tier higher, a far better gunboat, and should eat this thing for lunch, that Farragut didn't really have a chance at actually causing significant damage to me. You can again see, for tier 5 torps, this is fantastic, and I love this shot. I mean, this just, goose that guy. I got his bow, I got midship, I got stern. That hurt. And then if that's not bad enough, so I landed 5 out of the 6 there. And a lot of that is just due to, prediction. I'm close enough that I understand how this battleship, when he moves, how he's going to move. I got my smoke, I'm just going to pop it. Gonna accelerate quickly to try to juke the shots. And unfortunately, I potato right into the shots. Most higher tier battleship players, they will shoot basically just behind where you stopped, anticipating you to stop. In this case, I just derped right into that, and it sucks, but it is what it is. And I mean, these torps, they kind of remind me of like F3s, with how fast they are for the tier. These are really fast torps, especially for the range, the alpha. Absolutely fantastic torps, and that really is what make or breaks this destroyer as far as your ability to put meat on the table. Your bread and butter, what's going to win you games, is your concealment. You have extremely low concealment. You're pretty fast. You're very agile. You accelerate, decelerate quickly. I had a game earlier where I was gunboating in Atlanta, and I practically inflicted more damage with my Mutsuki guns than the Atlanta did on me. And mind you, I only have like a 9-kilometer gun range. That should tell you how much this destroyer can get up and move. That's the kinds of things that you need to learn now in this ship. It will translate all the way down through, the rest of the line. So, I'm just highlighting the spotting damage. It wasn't much to get going, but as soon as I kind of rounded that corner and could see the rest of the enemy team, I wasn't really interested playing around in smoke. I wanted to get out there and dominate that end of the map with vision, so my team could always have targets to shoot at, and let my team, if they needed to hunker behind an island to survive, they had that option. So, in this battle, 30 torpedoes launched, 11 hit. Again, I was really aggressive with, seeing just how precise I could be with the torpedoes. And these torpedoes look like they're fan-frickin-tastic. I always called her Mutsuki the first go-around that I played her. This would be a destroyer, tier 5 ranked. If I didn't have, Kamikaze, R, or Fujin, or, those ships, I could see myself bringing this ship out. She's got a lot of general utility. Yes, you're lacking in the gun department, but the vision, the survivability with your agility, your speed to get around the map and do, destroyer things, and then torpedoes that they're not messing around. Um, I think it's very attractive. So the move down to tier 5, I really like what Wargaming did with this ship. I wish that it would have better guns to kind of break. I think this is the ship that really drives home to people that Japanese guns are worthless. That's where you start developing this, myth about the Japanese destroyer guns is, this ship with two little pop guns. I mean, you can do substantial amounts of work with, Minikaze guns. It's just, it's got a really long reload. Um, this destroyer's guns seem questionable, and I think that that's something that I wish that there was a better package that was offered where the ship maintained its four guns, um, but had like a rate of fire nerf. And if you wanted to turn this into a sea hull package to put it into U.S. destroyer terms, where you drop you drop two main guns in exchange for a lot of AA. Uh, I think that that would be really cool. Um, but we'll see if Wargaming takes that stance. I just think that it would be a more comfortable transition if if you had a better opportunity for better guns, or at least guns that actually had more alpha, or just a little something something to spice it up, so you didn't feel like you're just supplemental chip damage. Anyway, I've rambled on enough about the guns. It's really the only questionable thing about this destroyer. Um, you know, I won't call her Mutsuki anymore, or Mutsucki. She'll be Mutsuki. Um, and probably gonna take her out, some more recently and see just how far I can start pushing it. By the way, this was only with a 10-point captain, so my gears are starting to spin, and I've got some captain elite commander XP uh, chilling that I might be seeing what I can do with a 15 or 16 point captain on this, and eventually grind it to 19 because it's gonna have a permanent spot in my port, uh, just for at least training purposes. Uh, anyway, I will keep you guys abreast if I decide to go on ahead and build on it, and if I do any sort of theory crafting, I will post a future video. Anyway, if you got any questions, leave them below. I hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.